Hello friends, thank you so much for coming back to see another video where I share about motherhood and mental health. This channel is called A Mother's Wild Heart, and I talk about the role of a mother being peaceful and being strong, resilient while a baby's having a tantrum. So everyone calls it the terrible twos. My husband likes to call it the terrific twos, and I'm somewhere in between. No, I think it's definitely a terrific season. So I would really not like, the whole season, which can last up to 2 years, to be let's just get through this. Let's keep the kid alive and let's just try to survive as well. I want to have way more out of life than that. So I am actually hoping to call it the terrific twos with some terrible moments. And we've started to have these moments. Noelle is 20 months. She's a light of my world, but oh my goodness, she has also caused me to be so baffled and at my end, and I thought I had wisdom, and oh no, I don't have wisdom. So yeah, she's definitely brought out the biggest insecurities around about me, and yeah, holding back my frustration and just trying to bite my knuckles and be like, oh, so it's been really hard these times where she doesn't get her way and then cries really loudly, and she's so beside herself that she's not reasonable. So I talk and talk, and she's like, no, no, no. Usually she's always open for a hug. In these moments she isn't. She asks me to go away, or she pushes me, which is so hurtful again. But this is an important point, not to take that personal, and I did in the beginning, and I'm really being coached at the moment by my husband and by our parent. We have a parenting coach. I really advise everyone to have one. Our parenting coach advised me to not take it personally. She does not know how to receive comfort in those times. She has to be taught, and she just has to find out that this is a safe place to cry. It's a safe environment to let the guards down, and this person I'm yelling at is not going to turn on me and is not going to abandon me. So I already understood from previous experience in being a social worker for 15 years, and yeah, having studied all that in theory, I knew that children need their parent to be calm. So that's what I've been doing this whole time. So her tantrums, although I warp outside of time, I just don't know how much time has passed, and I could say it's been a week of her screaming, and it's not like that. Tristan measured it, and it was between 4 and 5 minutes, which might not sound a lot to someone, but we have those tantrums, and I find it very, very hard. But I stay calm the whole time. I really just have the self-control, and I'm relentless, and by offering her comfort and nurture, and then she snaps out of it for whatever reason. Sometimes it's food that snaps her out of it. Sometimes it's a distraction. Very often it's a dog. If we're out, we're like, look, wow, wow. She's like, oh, it completely snaps out of it. Or what has sometimes worked is like tickling her, or blowing raspberries in her neck or something, or throwing her up, like just like baby toss and Engelchen, Engelchen flieg, that has snapped her out of her mood, and she realizes that the world is bright again and there's lots to enjoy. But I have then noticed, and this is coming from being very self-aware and very sensitive to how I'm feeling, but I have noticed that I then fall into this really empty place in my heart because I've probably, kept this persona up of the world is okay, you're safe. I actually crash often afterwards, just in an emotional way. Like, we could be on a walk. Tristan's like, oh, that went well. She's back to normal. She's our little girl again. But then his wife grows all quiet. And he's like, what's wrong? And I do not have the words for what's wrong. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, I've just given it all at the moment. And I'm just like empty. And sometimes I'm just quite numb and I don't talk. So this is really interesting that this is how I respond to it. And I don't know if this is something you face as well. But I want to encourage you that it is taxing on you to maintain safety throughout the tantrum. And afterwards, I'm just visualizing it in waves. I really think that there's like just these waves crashing, because a wave can only be high for a certain time and then it has to come down. It is designed to come down. It cannot stay in a high. So if we've been on this high, being stable for our children, we have to crash. And the ideal is to crash safely as well, not to let it out on our partner, not to let it out back on the child afterwards, because they will not know where this came from, and not to let it out on ourselves. That's really, really important. So I am choosing to do sport. For me, a bit of a run is good. A swim in summer. I don't swim in winter. A hot shower can really, really help. Or like a messy journal entry where you'd like scribble and maybe rip the page, or just, you know, draw lots of stars really fast, or lots of twirls, and then just like write out the words that come to your mind: frustration, fear, you know, just let it out, don't keep it in. So it's really important to find an outlet. It can be a physical thing, which I really believe is good, or talking to someone who's capable of taking it and not thinking that you're complaining, actually just hearing you out, being like, oh, that sounds really challenging, but it sounds like you manage it really well. And all of a sudden you find yourself stable, for not needing to pull through to it, but by having come through a similar motion than what your daughter needed, a safe place to crash after your baby crashed. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm very happy to do another video and try to articulate myself better. Thank you for having patience with my mambo jumbo German and English mix, but I hope that what I'm struggling with will lead into a better strategy for you, a better understanding of how you can face those moments, and even embrace them and be like, bring them on. I know what to do now. This is my tool that I'm going to use to first stay calm for my child, and after that I will tantrum in a very different way, in an adult way, but also need to land this plane on safe ground. I hope that makes sense, and I love you, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.